I just got to notice that I got 10 minutes left on this fucking thing. So
Okay.
this is where I speed through some questions.
Oh, sure, sure. I mean,
So let's talk about the 20th anniversary show real quick. Let's talk about the set list. Tell me a little bit about the process for picking the set list of a first 20 years immolation set.
well, for us, the first 20 years encompasses quite a lot. So we have a lot to draw from, but I think we're going to try to focus more on the first three or four, maybe, up to close, maybe. Um, so that's actually been kind of cool going back to some of those songs that we haven't played in literally like since 96, 97. Like, when like say when Here and After came out, some of the songs off of that record, we just haven't played live since then. So it's kind of been cool to go back to some of those songs that we haven't touched in a while. And for no reason, really. We're just like, that one's kind of this or that, or maybe a little too quirky or whatever. Maybe not good live, but it's been really cool to go back to those songs and kind of relearn them and revisit them and like, yeah, just I remember what I liked about this song so much back then. It's like, why haven't we played it in this long? So anyway, it's been pretty cool. So we started the process of just kind of picking out because we're leaving actually next week to do some Euro festival. So, we're probably not going to play some of those gems from back then at the fest, but we started like, we're all kind of rehearsing some of them already. We haven't gone into the whole batch of them yet. We're going to wait till we get back from this trip. Because it's just too much to go over all at once. We're going over our set list for the Euro run and, the songs for the 20th anniversary fest at the same time. So yeah, so that's been kind of cool. I'm kind of psyched when we come back to kind of fine tune a little bit more and kind of pick the rest of the songs that we're gonna wind up playing at the fest because right now we have a handful, off the mainly the first and second record, and we have like one off the third off of Failures. We don't have anything off of Close, but that won't be hard. I mean, once we sit down and figure out what we want to do, So I think that's the way we're gonna roll for this one, and just kind of play, maybe go heavy on the first four albums, But that's, that'll fill in a lot of that time, for sure. So
Mm. I mean, obviously Alex has been in the band for like 6, 7 years now, and
yeah.
Steve's been in the band considerably longer. So Steve's having to learn songs that he's never played live before. What's that
Yeah,
like?
yeah. I mean, without, spilling the beans, they're like, one of the songs in particular off the Here and After album, it's definitely a challenging song. So he just actually like 2 weeks ago sent us just a recording of him going through like the first round after he kind of got the parts down. And it sounded really good. And it was kind of cool to hear him kind of play that song in particular. So like, that's cool. So we're actually going out to Ohio this Friday for a couple of days before we fly out because we're flying out on Tuesday. So we're going to go out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to Ohio. Alex is going to fly up, and we're going to go through that song in particular. So I mean, all the songs rather, but that one I'm curious to go through because Steve has never played that one with us. So that's kind of cool. Nor has Alex. So it's going to
Right.
be interesting for both of them. you know. Phobocosm from Canada covered the title track of that record, the Here and After album. So they covered Here and After, and they released it like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they did such a phenomenal job. And when I met the guys, I was like, wow, guys! I said, you guys did it better than we did back in the day. I said, really, it sounded really cool with like a more modernized production. And it just sounded so heavy. So that was one of the ones that like they inspired us, I think, to relearn that song and play that song, for the 20th anniversary show. So that's one of the songs we are going to be doing. So that's going to be kind of cool to kind of break that one out.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Thanks
man.
to Phobocosm.
That's great. Yeah, those guys, they played the Denver Metal and Beer Fest last year,
Yeah.
and they were just some of the sweetest dudes. They have come to Metal and Beer Fest in Philly before, just
Yes.
as fans.
Yeah,
So,
I saw them this past round. They were down
oh yeah.
there. So, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, they
totally.
got like I have a feeling that you might see them. There's a good chance you might see them at the 20th anniversary then if they come
Yeah.
regularly to Metal and Beer Fest. I don't see any reason why we couldn't drag them out to that.
I hope so. I hope we make them proud by playing the song correctly.
You rehearse with them before, just make sure they got
That's
everybody.
right. I'll go over the parts.
You
It's been a cool process, though. We're looking forward to it, really. I mean, always, yeah. I mean, your events are always awesome. So we always look forward just coming down and hanging out and seeing the bands and, meeting people. And yeah, so it's gonna be weird though, not having the beer end mixed in with this.
We'll have, I mean, we'll have a little bit. I mean, our friends at Birmingham are going to be there. So there is very much the potential for, Angels Fall
Hey,
making a
awesome, awesome,
reappearance.
awesome. That's cool. So we have a little taste of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that
Nice.
I think that is definitely within the realm of possibility. In fact, I know that we're actively working towards making that happen. It's obviously not Metal and Beer Fest. It's not supposed to be Metal and Beer Fest.
Sure,
But
sure,
it's
sure.
like when we're kind of celebrating 20 years of what we've done, and one of the things that we have done obviously is Metal and Beer Fest. So there's no reason to not acknowledge it while we're there. Just,
That's that's awesome.
it's his own thing.
And it's a cool venue. Brooklyn Bowls is a cool place.
I was gonna, that's one of my questions. Immolation's played there a couple times now, I believe, supporting Obituary and Cattle
Kettle.
Recap, right?
Yep.
So the question is, have you bowled at Brooklyn Bowl?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Ah.
Yeah. The last
Are-
time we were there, we were just tearing it up. It was awesome.
So who's the best bowler in Immolation?
Oh, we're all pretty bad. I don't know. Bob was doing pretty well last round. I know Steve could tear it up. I'm so sorry. I have, my good days, my bad days. Alex didn't play last time, I don't think.
Hmm.
He didn't join us, but it was funny because at that show, Travis from Cattle, like in between one of the songs, like jumped off the stage, came down the side, went bowled a strike, and then went back on the stage and continued to sing. Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. We were like, wow, that's a move right
That's pretty
there.
badass. That's, there's stage presence and can you bowl a strike mid sets?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I said, I gotta give it to you. That was a good one.
Well, I look forward to having you guys back out there. I'm gonna go with Bob as the guy who's got the best moves. I just imagine
Yeah.
kind of the finishing, Bob guitar ninja moves
Oh
at
yeah,
the end,
totally.
you
Total
know.
ninja. Total ninja. Totally.
You guys are main support at that show to Autopsy.
Yes.
When I think of Immolation playing with Autopsy, I think of the Day of Death show in 19.
Yeah, sure.
When when's the last time that you've played with Autopsy? Can you remember?
Oh, recently it seems
Okay.
like, and we joke about this. It feels like we've been on this long extended tour of one-offs because it seems like every fest we play lately, Autopsy's on the bill. Like we did Mexico. It was when was Mexico? That was last summer. So they headlined that night. So we got to hang out with them and see them at that show. I always love running into them because we've known them for so long. I mean, we used to, order demos from Chris back in the day and write to those guys. So we've been pretty close with them since the beginning, really, since like '88. Bob actually went out to visit those guys in I think '88 or '89. They have him and his mom went out to have relatives out there, and they stopped. And Bob actually got to like sit on one of the old school rehearsals. He got a
Oh
video of it.
man. Like the
Yeah,
old
playing
Autopsy
the old like
house.
playing the old school demo stuff, like, ridden with disease and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. We watched, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we watched that when he got home, just over and over, like, oh, let's watch that Autopsy rehearsal again. So needless to say, we love Autopsy. They're one of my personal faves. And, we've always had tremendous respect for the band just because of their longevity and they just continually put out good records. So it's always cool to play with them. So yeah, we played with them at the London Fest. We played them, like I said, in Mexico, and there's been a few more. There's been more. We've crossed paths. Maryland the year before. So
Right.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's more than ever now, I guess, with the way that the whole festival circuit works these days.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because I always look forward to that because like our first stop on this run is going to be Hellfest, and Hellfest is just massive. It's
Mhm.
insanity. It's almost too much, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So, those are the events where, we kind of roll in and you just kind of see people you haven't seen in like sometimes 20 years, like, oh my goodness, that's this person from this band. And oh shit, it's this guy and or whoever, and you just walking through the catering area, you just see so many people or people you've been a fan of for a long time. Like Alex, ran into a bunch of his guitar idols back in the last summer run of festivals. So it was kind of cool to, just kind of, see who you're going to run into at these things, so it's always fun, in that regard.
You've seen the lineup for the show, I'm guessing. There's a couple newer bands on the bill, Horrendous, who I guess aren't that new at this point. They've been around over a decade. They got like 5 records.
Yep.
Crip Sermon, who've just put out their 3rd record. They're kind of this, I wouldn't even call them a doom band at this point. I would just say they're kind of a classic heavy metal band. Have you seen some of these bands before? Are you looking forward to anything beyond?
No, I'm not familiar with Crip Sermon. I've heard of. I've heard some of their stuff, but Horrendous, I've heard the name, but I'm just not familiar with them. So I will definitely check some of that stuff out at the fest for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of an eclectic lineup, which if it, you might as well do when you're doing 20-year anniversary when it's all under one umbrella.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're super stoked, and again, thank you for playing this thing, because
Of course, man. Thanks for having us, man. You always think of us, man. Thank you.
yeah, we're stoked, man. I mean, I trying to think of like, I mean, Immolation has played Decibel Tour twice, Philly Metal and Beer Fest twice, Denver Metal and Beer Fest, and now 20th anniversary party. So it's a good
Hell yeah.
It's a good run, man.
Yeah. And both of those the festival tours were great. I mean, both of them were killer. So
Yeah, man. I really like look back at the first one in 2013 with Cannibal and Napalm and just
epic.
yeah, like now, can you imagine that tour now? like the rooms that we played versus like this. I remember the New York show was Hall of Williamsburg. It was like 500-600 people and it was sold out, but like now
it's insane, but I love it though. I mean, to see they were just out on that Montmartre tour and they're playing like Red Rocks and places like that. To me, that is so awesome to see the music kind of we all came up with finally getting to play these awesome places, these huge venues and filling them, I love it. I think it's such a good time for this music, and we've been very patient, all of us, But I mean, when we did the Cannibal run, not 2023, the year before in 2022, we finished the year out on the Cannibal run with a Dark Funeral and Black Anvil.
Yep.
And man, on that tour, I remember just talking to Alex and Rob and all those guys, and they're like, yeah, this is pretty much like the biggest tour we've done in the States, headlining, like the biggest crowds. I mean, because we thought wow, these places are 2,500 cap, sold out every night. It was insanity, and we were just so happy to be part of it and to see our friends fucking steering that ship. It's awesome, but now it's even gone next level from that, in just a year's time, which is awesome, man. So I it's just it's cool to see, after being part of it for so long. And as you've been in as long as we have, it's had its ups and downs. You had those moments where you're like, man, this, does anybody care anymore? And then boom, then it gets, it comes back. But I think a lot of this is due to so many great young bands coming out over the last 10, 15 years, and just really kind of, I guess invigorating that spark again, and then you have bands like Cannibal that are still killing it and doing it and bringing in more and more people and getting, out in front of more heads every night. It's awesome. So